Have you ever noticed something strange about Germany and the number 7? No, seriously. Out of all the scorelines in football, Germany somehow keeps ending up on the right side of a 7-1 victory. They did it against Brazil in one of the most famous matches in sports history. And now, they've done it again, against Curaçao at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So what's going on here? Is 7 Germany's lucky number? Is it just a weird coincidence? Or is there something deeper behind these unforgettable scorelines? Let's start from the very beginning. Football, or soccer if you're American, is the most watched sport on the planet. More people tune into the FIFA World Cup than the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, and the Olympics combined. We're talking 1.5 billion people watching a single match. And in that world, Germany is one of the most dominant nations to ever play. 4 World Cup titles, 8 finals, consistently one of the best teams in the history of the sport. But here's what nobody talks about. Their relationship with the number 7 is genuinely one of the strangest things in sports history, and it goes way deeper than you think. Let's go back to 1954, post-war Germany. The country is rebuilding. The national football team, known as West Germany at the time, enters the World Cup as massive underdogs. Nobody expects them to do anything special. They make it all the way to the final. They are playing Hungary. At this point, Hungary is arguably the greatest football team on earth. They had not lost a single international match in 4 years. They had beaten England 6-3 at Wembley, which was essentially like a college basketball team destroying the Lakers. And Hungary had already beaten West Germany earlier in that same tournament, 8-3. It wasn't even close. But in the final, West Germany wins, 3-2. One of the biggest upsets in World Cup history. That was 1954, West Germany's first World Cup title. Fast forward to 1966. West Germany reaches the World Cup final again. This time, they lose to England in one of the most controversial matches ever played. England wins 4-2. But here's what matters. Germany scores exactly 7 goals in the knockout stage on their way to that final. Coincidence? Maybe. 1974. World Cup is held in West Germany itself, home soil. The pressure is enormous. They win the whole thing. The tournament features 7 group stage matches for Germany. The squad number worn by their most impactful player in the final? You guessed it. 1990. Unified Germany. World Cup in Italy. Germany wins their 3rd title. The key player in the semifinal, the man who scores the crucial penalty to send them through, wearing the number 7 shirt. 3 World Cup wins. But none of it, compares to what happened in 2014. This is the moment that turned the number 7 from a fun pattern into something that football fans still talk about a decade later. Brazil, the 2014 World Cup, and Germany is in the semifinal. Now, before I tell you what happens, you need to understand something. Brazil is not just a country with a football team. Brazil is football. They invented a style. They perfected an art form. The samba football. Creative, fluid, joyful. They have won the World Cup 5 times, more than anyone else. And they were playing at home, in front of 75,000 fans in Belo Horizonte. The entire country had basically already printed the championship t-shirts. Here's what happened. 11 minutes into the game, Germany scores. 23 minutes, Germany scores again. 24 minutes, Germany scores again. 26 minutes, Germany scores again. 29 minutes, Germany scores again. Within 18 minutes of football, 18 minutes, Germany had scored 4 goals. The stadium went silent. 75,000 people. Silent. It was so surreal that German players were reportedly looking at each other in disbelief. 69 minutes. Germany scores a 6th. 79 minutes. Germany scores a 7th. Brazil gets one back at the end. Final score? Germany 7, Brazil 1. 7-1. The most famous scoreline in World Cup history. The most shocking result in the history of a 94-year-old tournament. Commentators were speechless. Grown men in Brazil were crying on camera. The internet essentially broke. The phrase 7-1 in Portuguese became a national trauma for Brazilians, and Germany scored exactly 7 goals. The game is now officially called the Mineirazo, named after the Mineirao stadium where it happened. And the number 7 is permanently burned into that moment. But here's what makes it even more layered. Brazil's star player that tournament was Neymar, their best player, their captain, the guy the whole country was counting on. He had been injured in the quarterfinal and missed the semifinal entirely. His squad number? 7. Brazil's number 7, absent. Germany scores 7. This is either the most incredible coincidence in sports history, or the universe has a very specific sense of humor. And it doesn't stop there. Germany goes on to win the 2014 World Cup, their 4th title. The winning goal in the final is scored in extra time, the 113th minute. 1 + 1 + 3 = 5. Okay, that one doesn't work. But the player who scored the winning goal in the final? Mario Götze. He came on as a substitute. Substitute number? He wore the number 19 in the tournament, but when he came on in that final as a sub, he replaced Miroslav Klose. Klose's number? 11. Okay, that one doesn't work either. But here's what does. Germany's all-time top scorer in World Cup history is Miroslav Klose. He scored 16 World Cup goals, the most of any player in history. His most iconic tournament was 2014, the tournament where Germany scored 7. And Klose's most famous club career? He played for a team called Lazio in Italy. Their jersey number for him? 7. Now let's zoom out for a second, because I want to show you something even stranger. Germany has appeared in 8 World Cup finals. They have won 4 of them. In those 4 victories, the total goal difference, goals scored minus goals conceded across all the matches, works out to multiples of 7 in 3 of the 4 tournaments. I know what you're thinking. You're looking for patterns everywhere. You could find any number if you try hard enough. And you're right, that's called confirmation bias. Our brains love finding patterns even when they don't exist. But here's the thing that separates the Germany 7 story from regular sports numerology. The 7-1 actually happened. That's not a pattern you're searching for. That's a scoreline. That's real. That's documented. That's the single most shocking result in the most watched sporting event on Earth. And when you combine it with all the other appearances of 7 across German football history, so next time you watch a Germany match, keep your eye on the number 7. Because history has a funny way of repeating itself. If you want more football history explained in a way that actually makes sense, subscribe. New videos every week. And trust me, the stories only get stranger from here.